Hello everyone! We are going to be talking about our final project. Hopefully you're looking at this early in the semester and not the day before it's due. And the reason for that is because you're expected to do a number of shoots to pull the 8 images together for this final project. The final project can be anything you want it to be, but it has to be a cohesive series. It means all the images must work together with one idea. So, you know I like to photograph my dog. I don't want to take 8 pictures of my dog in one day and call that a series. I want to explore my dog over 2 months and photograph her out at the park, photograph her in the house, photograph her interacting with other dogs, photograph her interacting with me, some selfies maybe, photograph her interacting with the family. I want to show her personality. I want to show why this dog is so fantastic. And then that brings to mind a photographer, Tony Mendoza, who photographed his cat, Ernie, one of my favorites from when I was in school. You could go out to Red Rock, make a number of visits. Maybe you'll get lucky and find some snow, if you happen to probably be in the winter quarter semester rather than the fall. But you never know. The world is kind of crazy with our weather right now. But look near, look far, get close. Tell a story. What is the story about Red Rock that you love? What do you love about going there? How can you express that in your photographs so that your viewers can feel that same love? I walk my neighborhood every day. I love this neighborhood. It's unique. Every time you walk a different direction, the light is different. The plant life has grown in a different way. And I make images year-round. I photograph the same thing over and over again, but it never looks the same. If I were to be photographing my neighborhood for this project, once again, I wouldn't do it in one day. I'd go in the morning, I'd go in the late afternoon, I'd go at night. I'd walk up one way and then back the other way another day. Because every time you walk and you move out in the world, you're going to see things in a different way. So my neighborhood shots, to me, are about talking about life and environment and how we build a home, because everyone's personality comes through in the neighborhood I live in. So things to think about. So what do you want to share? Do you love skateboarding? Do you love coffee? Do you want to document your friends and the adventures you have? If that's the case, that's awesome. Find a bunch of adventures. Find some interesting people. One thing about your friends is they're going to be like all self-conscious at first and not wanting to be photographed, but the more you bring your camera, they'll eventually just ignore you. So that's another reason to work on this over a period of time. You want to be natural. You want to catch natural expressions. Everything posed gets boring really fast. Okay, so concept. You need a concept. You need to use all the skills. You can use your DSLR, your mirrorless camera, you can use your phone, your iPad, whatever device to capture your images is a-okay. You need proper exposures. You need good compositional skills. You want to think about the style and how you're editing. You want the edits to look the same. You don't want one black and white and one color, or 7 black and whites in one color. Think about why you're doing what you're doing in your editing. The editing can help to enhance the concept. You don't have to use every skill you've learned this semester. Use what's appropriate to get your idea across. So think about those conceptual goals. Have a strategy. How are you going to accomplish this? Are you going to shoot every Monday for 6 weeks? Are you going to go to California for 2 or 3 weekends? Not one weekend. That's why this is important to think this out. Like if you think, I'm going to go shoot Disneyland, and you're going once, that's probably not going to make for a good series. You're going to realize, oh, golly, I should have done this, or I should have done this. Make it something that you can revisit. Let's say you do choose Disneyland. And then you get back here and you realize, oh, I just don't have it all. Maybe it's about the entertainment rather than Disney. I don't know. I don't think we have Disney stores anymore. But how could Circus Circus play into the idea? So think about how you can push and broaden your ideas. Okay? Who's your audience? Who do you want to be looking at your work? Is it just me and your classmates? Do you want to try to get out in the world and share it? Are you sharing your work on Instagram? Think about who's looking at your work and what their expectations are. Create a timeline. Hopefully you started this early and, lay it out. Like, I'm going to shoot like I said, every Monday or every whatever. But just stick with it. Think of it like a job. Can you shoot with a DSLR and your phone and turn it into the same project? Yes, you can. But that's why we want to be cohesive in how we edit the photos. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking here at the handout with everything and just kind of quickly scanning it. You might want to sequence the work. And what that means is, what order should I or your viewer be looking at the work in? That's how you want to number it or name them. So all the files should be titled. Your images should have a title. That title could be Untitled 1, Untitled 2, Untitled 3, or it could be 625 Don Gaspar, 789 Senna. Okay, those are street addresses in my neighborhood. So you can be creative in how you name things. You could have little stories that go with each photograph, and those could be printed on a white border. We learned how to make borders. Well, maybe we didn't in this class. But anyways, you could print it out and handwrite it and rephotograph it. Ooh, idea. Your final presentation for this class is just going to be JPEG images. But maybe you're going to want to print it down the road. So that's something you might want to think about. As a photographer, we like to get our work out and have it seen. So that's something we can talk more about. Feel free to ask me any questions anytime about that. Is there a budget to making your work? Travel, that falls into a budget. Do you have enough money to travel? Remember, you can always borrow a lens from the school too if you have a Canon or a Nikon camera. You can borrow a telephoto lens or a wide angle or a fisheye and just have some fun with that if it works within your concept. As I said, 8 images. Everything that we've been doing all semester, good exposures, editing, cloning, whatever you need to make that a finished image. For this project, you are going to submit individual files, not a URL. Now, some of you might really like having done the Spark page or the URL. You can submit that, but I still want the individual files submitted as well. The great thing about a Spark page, as you have learned, it's a great way to tell a story. So you can do that, but you must also submit your individual files. I'm going to need a list of images by title and that order that you want them in. That's going to be a Word document. You can drop the images into the Word document and then have the title and any information that I'm asking for, such as metadata, the shutter speed, the date that it was shot, all those good things typed in there. But once again, I still need you to submit the individual files along with an image list if you include the images in that document. Remember, I'm looking for JPEG images in your individual file, not a Word document. Do not submit a Word document as your file document. Submit JPEG images. Describe what apps you used and how you edited the photos. I'm looking for an artist statement that talks about the concept of your series, why it's a series, how the images hold together, what your intent was, what you hope the audience sees. We worked on a project a couple of weeks ago where you started to have an artist statement there, so refer back. What photographic category does your work fall into? Fine art, fashion, documentary. I have a list here for you to take a look at, and it could fall into more than one category. What lens and camera did you use? How many images did you make to get to your final 8? And of course, in the Word document, include the class name, your name, and the time of your class section. So this is all online. So what class section are you in? Conceptual series. I got some great books down here. Some of them are $7, some of them are $30, but you can probably find them at the library. Looking at photographs, 100 Pictures from the Collection of the Museum of Modern Art is one of my favorite books. I love all the writings of Robert Adams and Terry Barrett. This is a great one. It's a more contemporary book talking about how to describe photography and all of that good stuff. And it has a lot of great references to other photographers. And I do really enjoy the elements of photography. So these are 4 that I have in my collection. of hundreds, but I think they're a great place to start. And you can buy all of these used, or like I said, check them out at the library. Well, that's just a basic guide to what you're doing. Remember, multiple shoots, 8 JPEG images, cohesive concept, everything must be edited, and I can't wait to see your final project. Don't be hesitant to get in touch with me and bounce ideas off me. I'm here to help you guys and to guide you. You can start 2 or 3 projects early in the semester and then decide which one is looking stronger and then really focus in on that as well. That's one of the things I do. I work on 4, 5, 6 things at a time, and they're all floating around in my head. So go out and shoot, make a ton of images, edit early, start putting things together, and have a great time doing it. Photography should be fun. I love everything about it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go make a few images right now. Talk to you later.